and our facilitator today is Hassan. So Hassan is the former managing director of the South African Ideas Festival, or SAFE for short, and he's had the privilege of facilitating sessions for SAFE since 2021. Marget's interests lie in economic development and educational nonprofits. He is currently completing his bachelor's degree in quantitative economics and econometrics with a concentration in entrepreneurship at Conn College in the United States. Hassan is a part of the founding team of Logicae Science, which focuses on scientific research education. Today, he's delighted to be with you for about an hour to discuss market research and how to conduct it effectively. Welcome, Marget.
Thank you very much, Maggie, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I know it has been a long day for everyone, so we'll keep this short. We'll keep this session short. We'll keep it engaging. We'll keep it fun, so you don't get bored. I just ask you to engage with me in the chat. So always have the chat box thingy open on the side because we'll be using it a lot today. And if you have any question, please raise your hand, and if Mickey help me to pick up the raised hands if I don't notice them, that would be really great. Thank you very much. I will share my screen, and I will try to go on a quick pace so you don't have to stay for the entire hour, hopefully. Okay, let me see. Can someone please confirm that you see my screen? Perfect. Okay, so welcome to the market research session. Let's start. How or what are the words you think of when you hear market research? Put 3 words in the chat. So when you first hear the word market research or it's a market research session, what are the first few words you can think of? Put whatever comes to your mind in the chat. Any 3 words. Okay. Still don't have anything in the chat. Competitors, okay. Customers, Google. Google is a great tool, yes. Who your customers are, what customers need. Perfect. I'm missing a lot. This is my one. Knowledge, Google, search. Google is a common one. We love Google. Okay. Audience, competitors. Okay. 2 more seconds. I need everyone in the chat. That's not 11 people. Quality products, okay. People. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So these are the keywords that are directly connected to market research and what market research is already about. So by the end of this session, you should have some understanding of each of these terms or clear understanding how they are connected to market research. So we will talk about data analysis, customer behavior, market trends, surveys, focus groups, customer feedback, competitors, strategies, product development, segmentation, demographics, audience, lots of analysis, secondary research, primary research, qualitative and quantitative research, sampling, report writing. All of that is directly linked to market research. And I'm sure that you know most of them or you're already aware about what a market research is all about. What I will try to discuss with you today would be a structure on how to do market research, some tips to make it quick, to make it more efficient for you. So I already assume from the answers that there is some understanding about what a market research is. So we can move on without spending a lot of time on this. So why market research matters? So since it seems that we have lots of folks here who understand what a market research is. I want you to say your name, uh, what your final product is, and explain one of these points in your context and how it helps your product to develop. So if someone can raise their hands and do that, that would be great. If no one does, I will popcorn someone. So you're telling me your name, you're telling us your final product, and you're explaining one of these points and what you understand from them. Okay, we have Shams, please go.
Okay, my name is Shams. My final product is a website called Professional, and I will explain the first point: identifying customer needs and performance. Customer needs that I perform or offer is the easy of communication with people in all fields of freelancing, and this is the product that the website I made will offer. This is all. Thanks.
About the people that her website would be serving at the end of the day and what their needs are. We can have Amani, please unmute yourself.
My business is selling cakes. What I would lead with is identifying customer needs and preferences. The need that my customers had was that there was no cake anywhere near where we were. They had to go kilometers away to get cake. So I was meeting that need.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Amani. So we're done with the first point. Dawn, would you like to explain to us any of the other 4 points? Excuse me. I think your microphone is not working well. If you can use your phone's microphone instead of the earphones, that might work. Or get it closer to your mouth so we can hear it better.
Oh yeah. So as I was saying, the business that I'm running is a liquid soft detergent, and when I started it, I had a lot of competitors. So one of the points that I'm explaining is about evaluating competition. So those competitors, if you are also doing the same business with me, I was able to outcompete them because I had lowered my prices because I just started my business. So that was one of the things that I used to outcompete them on boost my so that's about evaluating competition.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So someone was sharing with us evaluating the competition and how it's important to understand the competitors you have in the market. People already in the market, they are doing similar products, they're doing stuff that you might be offering the same quality, the same ideas. So it's important to evaluate what they have and understanding what they're missing and where you can be better than them. Cool. I need to hear from more people. We still have number 2, number 4, and number 5. I will popcorn. This is a small session, so everyone is talking today. Okay, TK, do you wanna take one of them?
So like, wait, if I'm sure of what you said, I'm just generalizing, like explaining what's on the slide, what understanding market trends and changes.
Yeah, and how would that be in your context?
Okay. So in my context will be my business is Globe Startup Connect, and my greatest desire is to connect minds and startups for mutual value addition therefore accelerating problem reduction in our communities. There's a guy called Vusi Tembekwayo. He recently posted on his Instagram page that our greatest challenge is that we do not connect to one another, right? So I'll give a bit of context into that. If I ask you a question like, would you get $10 trillion for someone to die, like a random person to die around the world, right? Okay, let me try to like purely explain it for people to understand what I'm trying to say, right? It's like there's a 10 trillion dollar package this side, right? And if you get hold of it, a random person dies. So the question was asked, question on morality, right? And moral reasoning, and there's just a lot going on behind the scenes that I've just sort of like abstracted and just made it simple and stuff like that. So it was discovered that 42% around that number would say yes to such a question, that they would rather like they would get that $10 trillion and then a random person dies, right? Then I ask you another question. Another question would be that why do you only cry when your relative dies, and why don't you cry when 41,000 people die in an earthquake in Turkey or Syria? Why is that so? When you see on the news that 41,000 people died, you're just like, oh, people died, right? But if it was your mom or your father, you'd be depressed and then you die, right? So there is that need for connection and stuff like that. And I have quite enough like, okay, I'm doing something differently here. And okay, I can talk of incubation hubs that connect minds and startups solving this problem somehow. There's NILAB in Kenya, there's IAB, there's Tony Elumelu Foundation. There are a number of them that do the same thing. So understanding market trends will be, in my case, understanding what the market requires for such a platform, and mine will be a website and application at the same time. So yeah, you just have to understand what's changing, in the market. Do people need Zoom for connecting? Do people need Facebook? Do people need Instagram? We can see with the market trends and stuff like that, Meta is now investing so much in Oculus, the company that is behind the VR headsets and stuff like that, because that's a change in trend. They're now making use of the Web 3.0 because they've seen that the Web 2.0 is not interactive. It's trying to give you that illusion that we are together in a room, but we are not together. You can see it's a 2D screen, and I am here, you are there. So the market trend will be VR headsets and stuff like that. So yeah, in my context, that would be something like that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much for explaining it really well. I don't have anything to add. You said it all. It's about seeing what other people are doing, what is similar among all of them, and why they're all doing the same thing, or what kind of a change is happening. So they're just replying to it. So thank you very much. We have number 4 and number 5. Arlek, do you want to take one of them, please?
All right. Thank you. I think you can hear me.
Yes, perfect.
Okay. All right. I would like to talk about number 3 and number 4, if you don't mind. Many people talk about number 3, and I want to add on that. So when I will come to number 4, because that's the number I will do.
Sure.
All right. To talk about evaluation of the competition, I would like to talk about the competitors before I started my business, because my business is the retail shop business, so that I established in my town. And before I started my business, I first went to the market to go and research about what is in the market. So there are some of the things that are in the market, and maybe they are in low quality. So to establish your business, you are supposed to search for the highest quality products that can outcompete your competitors. So I went to the market before I started my business, and I found out that people were selling oil made out of nails. I think you know that, oil made out of nails. So to outcompete them, I had to talk with my brother, because my brother is living out of the country. in Uganda. So I talked with him and I ordered him to maybe search for me a oil made out of simsim. So that will be better because people like that oil. So we agreed with my brother and we were able to bring those products to my country. So, and my business was a little bit dominant because people were in love with the product that I brought in. So that's how I made my market research based on the competitors that I was competing with them. So to talk about number 4, developing new products and services. So this means that you should search for the new products that are not in the market. So based on your audience, like proposition, what they are proposing. So on my own, because I will talk about my research, my own research, I went to the market and people were not having those good type of type of sandals because I do sell sandals too in my retail shop. So they were not having those quality sandals because they were selling those fake one a little bit fake, let me say. So I went to the market and I didn't get those good ones. So I went at a site and I brought the good sandals who were nice and people were in love with them. So I just brought in the new product which were not in the market. So that's how I can understand involving the new products and services in the market. And thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So you talked about different points that I really liked. First of all, you linked it to identifying the customer needs and knowing what they are missing in the market. But something else that you mentioned is introducing new products that people are not aware of, or introducing something that they didn't directly ask for. But because you're doing your research in the background, because you are exposed to different markets and you know what other options might be around you, you provided that to them. So this is something that has to do with developing the new products and developing the services that you want. Like no one asked Meta to create like entire virtual world for us, but they're doing it and people are liking it. But before that, I don't think that people were like, oh yeah, I want to meet someone virtually, or I want to meet Zoom. I remember when Zoom started, a lot of people were against it because it's not effective for education. People get like screen fatigue and stuff like that. But it worked out because the pandemic came. Zoom started before the pandemic. It only went crazy during the pandemic. So something to do about developing new products is introducing new culture to communities and introducing new solutions that they were like, oops, we didn't know that existed, but it's working apparently. Arlek, do you want to add something? Okay, perfect. So I am going to popcorn one of the folks who are not sharing their screen. Is everyone sharing their screen? Oh, Abdurrahman is not. Oh, now you are. Cool. So, wow, I never had such sessions. Everyone is just hiding. Aya is not sharing her screen. Okay, Aya, do you want to explain number 5 for us, please? Turning on your video. Sorry, I was talking about the video, not the screen. Aya, can you hear us? Okay, we'll circle back for you. Who wants to take number 5? Who didn't talk today? Richard, do you want to take number 5, please?
Yeah, number 5 is the market messaging. Basically, I think after you have done your market research and maybe you have your customers have feedback about
Can you put the microphone closer to the mouse? Yeah.
Okay. So for the testing, marketing campaigns and messaging. So basically, after you develop your new product, before you engage in any form of mass production, you may want to do something like a prototype wherein you will have to determine whether it is convenient for the customers, and basically customers will have to give you feedback. And based on that feedback, you will know whether to develop the areas to improve on and the qualities that you're supposed to work on. So like this is a phase also that is very, very much important because like for example, if you want to release a software to the market, a particular software, basically you have testers or maybe like a game. You will need testers who will need to test that game and ensure that give you a very good feedback that this game you need to improve or there is a bug in this game that you need to get rid of. And I think if you can apply this strategy, then basically it will help your products, whether it is a tangible or non-tangible product. It will be like a ground base for you to excel your products or your service that you are rendering to your customers. So I think number 5 is very, very also much essential. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richard. You mentioned about testing the product itself and the service itself, which is really important before you release it to the market. The second part about number 5 is also testing the messaging about it. How many advertisements we saw and we didn't like? How many messaging in different campaigns that were controversial and it ended that the company is taking down the campaign because people didn't appreciate it. So we always hear about these kinds of marketing campaigns where the message is controversial or people are not accepting it or it's not aligning with the customer's culture and values. So you need to test the messaging before you send it out on social media, before you send it out to the people, and sample it with some few customers, some few friends, some fresh eyes outside of your team to make sure that the message is clear. Because you're working on something for hours and hours, you think it's super clear, you think people will get it, but they actually might not. So you need some fresh eyes to give you feedback on your messaging and in your marketing campaign. It's always good to do that. I think we are done with why market research matters, and thank you very much for participating. A couple of people didn't talk, so be ready for the next time we have an activity. Right now, I'm going to talk about different types of market research, and there are thousands of ways to divide market research. We're going to talk about like few of them, and you can find online like different ways of categorizing market research. But this is one of the direct ways that is linked to why we are doing it. So the first type of market research that we can discuss is exploratory market research, or basically to learn the problem and to make sure that you understand what it's all about. Some of you might already did this stage. Some of you might still in the beginning of understanding their problem and understanding what they're trying to solve. So this one is basically going to people and be like, "Hi, what's up? What's wrong? What's not working with you? How can I make your life easier?" The data that we use here, or the kind of research that we do, we take it from focus groups, we take it from interviews, observations, personal experiences are always the best. Secondary data sources, which is basically existing information collected by others. We're going to talk about what a secondary data source is, but this research phase is basically about understanding what is not working and how it can be better. So this is the first one. Take note of it because we'll circle back. The second one that we can talk about is descriptive research. So in this one, we are going to talk more about the population itself and the people that you're trying to serve. So you talk about the population, you talk about the phenomena that you're trying to serve. You will start asking yourself questions as who, what, when, where, and how. Who am I serving? What are they missing? Or how can I make their experience easier? When is the best time to like the timeline? When is the best time for me to start working on that? Or when exactly do they want this service? Do they want it like in the workplace? Do you want it in school? How am I serving it to them? Is it online service? Is it something that I need to build? Is it something that I need to get someone else involved in, like manufacturing it? So you start asking all these questions about the population and the service that you are providing to them. Here we start doing surveys as well, observational studies. We do secondary data sources again. And what we're trying to do here is understanding the people, understanding who we're trying to serve the most. So this is descriptive research. You're trying to describe your service to yourself and to whoever investor that you'll be working with. Perfect. The third one, and the one that I enjoy the most, is casual research. So here you already have your product, it's already there. You understand the who, the what, the when, the how, you understand all these questions, and you want to see, is it actually working? And if not, what can I improve in it? So the casual research depends on the cause and effect relationship between variables. So here you have a bit of a testing process. You will have like a control group, a treatment group, a group that is not providing your service, a group that is provided with your service, and you will see how your service is affecting the second group and how they are having a better experience. And you will ask yourself, okay, I worked a lot on this service. Is it actually working? And if yes, how's it working? This is really important phase before you start launching your product to everyone, before you start sending it out, because investors will never give you money if you can't prove to them that the service is working. And it will be sort of a proof of contest. It will be like, hi, I have this idea and it's actually working. Can I please get more money so I launch it on a bigger scale? So these are the three different research types. For now, we're having a second activity that I will ask you to unmute yourself and talk. As usual, share your name, share your final product, and explain one of the market research types and which one are you using this week before your final presentation. So we have the three of them. We have learning your problem. We have learning about the people, the who, the what, the when, the where, and the how. And we have the last one, testing your product. And a quick note, when you share your final product, just tell us in one sentence what you are providing. We don't want to hear the entire story. We'll be like, hi, I'm working on a website that does X, or hi, I'm working on this service. And you need to learn how to be concise when you share your ideas, because the presentation time will not be that long. So you won't have a lot of space to share an entire experience in 5 minutes or 7 minutes. So start to practice how to share your final product really easily, and to make it clear for everyone. So let's take this as a practice for the final presentation day as well. Okay, I will give you 1 minute to choose one of the research types and to think of your idea, think of your service, and how this research type will help you this week to put together a better presentation. Any questions? Instructions clear? Perfect. Okay, 1 minute, and I will hear from the people that I didn't hear from last time. Panache didn't speak. Who else didn't speak? There's one person who didn't speak. I'll find you. Okay, we're starting with Panache, then we'll have another cycle of everyone speaking today. Panache, you can unmute whenever you're ready. You have all the time to think about it. Okay, when I said you have all the time, I didn't actually mean it. So share with us whatever you have ready now.
Thank you. All right. So hi everyone. Hope you're all doing well. So my name is Panashin Chofu, and my initiative, the conscientization movement, focuses on human capacity development. So essentially, what we're doing is empowering communities, skilling communities to generate value and develop local economies. And then one market research type that I will reflect on is casual research testing. Um, I will use this. I would like to try this approach because it's really scalable. It's going to be really helpful for my team and I in terms of evaluating the effectiveness of our efforts. So my understanding of this approach is looking at goals, the specific value that we are going to be delivering, as well as looking at the success metrics and seeing how effective we are at delivering that. Yeah, I think that's all I have.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you. And a word that I want to highlight is scalable. Because when you do your casual research, you have your service done. Like there's nothing more to add to it. And you'll be like, okay, now I want to make sure before I send it out that it's working. Before I scale it, before I share it on like with a larger community, I want to make sure that it's working. So let's have a group of these people that I'm serving and provide my services to them and see any feedback, anything to edit before I start scaling it for everyone. So thank you very much for explaining it. We have two more types. So if you are thinking of descriptive research or you're thinking about exploratory research, please raise your hand or I will popcorn you. Everyone talked once, so we'll go for the goal that everyone will speak twice. Okay, Ton, please go and keep your mic close to your mouth, please.
All right. My kind of product is liquid soap. So my liquid soap, the type of pesticide that I'm using is exploratory. So I do this. I just go to the areas where I feel like this one is actually very necessary. I see what are they lacking. And there are a lot of things to be done with such a product. Then I actually ask them, what kind of product do you use or what kind of soap do you use in your area? Is it effective? So I got like most of them were using Omo, others were using this kind of normally with detergents. And I actually had to come into my product, which is a liquid soap detergent. I had more explain about it to them, and that's how I did the kind of market research. After I realized that, I had to deliver it to them now, and they realized that it was more effective than the one they were using. The one that in the question there was asked, which one are you currently using, which type of market research? So I go for description. After having delivered my product, the soap, I go around and see what is the reaction of the people that I'm supplying. Are they good with the product? Are they like the product is actually good as they are some of the that I should actually do on my product? So that's the type of market research that I'm actually doing as for this week as I'm delivering my liquid soap detergent. Before I deliver it, I should actually see the reaction of the people. First delivery that I did. So aside that, I come and sit down and see what am I lacking actually to fulfill their desires. Aside that, they have a budget, the charge and deliver to them. So this data that I'm going to use this for the second round to deliver them, they charge them.
Thank you very much, Cohen, for being the first person to speak twice today, and thanks for linking how you're doing the first type of research to your business. As far as I understand it, you will go and ask people what products they already use, and you will compare it to what product you currently have. So I think you're linking it also to competitors' research and learning about what other stuff are in the market already and how good your product is comparing to them. So thank you very much for sharing that with us. Arlik, do you want to take the third type of research?
Right. Right. I was about to go for exploratory, but you said that I can go for descriptive anyway. So, the country I'm in is the country that you can call me Eric anyway, because you said that somebody can introduce himself and start with me. So I'm Eric and I'm a South Sudanese. So the country I'm living in is a little bit not populated, but the community I'm living in is populated and full of people who can't believe in modern things and they don't believe in foreign things. So to do my research, I was working on exploratory and also descriptive. So research. So because why I should deal with those two ones? So on the side of exploratory, my country is the country where people don't believe in modern things, as I said before. So they must first witness what you have brought as a product to them, and they see how effective it is and how it should last for long, because they believe in long-lasting products because of poverty, as you know. So I work on exploratory as my research to first explore what they need and what product are they in love with. So I first talked with them and they were like long lasting products and effective products. So I had to go and bring those things in any possible way I can bring them. So the effective product. So on the side of descriptive, the population that I'm dealing with is a population and primitive population that do not believe in civilization or anything modern. So I used to buy my things perhaps in what they want, like in their interest, to work on their interest, not my own interest. Even though I'm in love with the product and they are like, that product is not good with us and we can work with that product, then I have to change it. So that's how I'm doing my research, and the research that I will be using this week is exploratory, because that's the best way I guess I should deal with my societal population. And thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much for explaining both of them actually. And something that we can take from there, that you can use more than one research style and you don't have to use all of them. You look at your business idea, look at which stage your team is right now, and what you're dealing with and which one will help you the best. I believe that most of you already did some research using one of these. So it's just a way to keep moving on. A research process is 24/7 thing. It will never stop for your business. It will never stop for your idea, because it's all about developing what you already have. There's always better to provide. So I think we can move on from types of market research, and I will start talking for a bit about the data resources. We talked about secondary research. I don't think we talked about primary research, but we can talk about it now, and the difference between both of them and which one you should be using when you're doing your research. So these are some examples of primary research and secondary research. If we think about primary research, that would be surveys, that would be interviews, that would be focus groups. So in this type of data, you are collecting it yourself. You're the first person to ask these questions, or you're getting like fresh data from the direct customers. When we think of secondary research, you are looking for data that is already out. Google, that most of us put in the beginning of the chat. You're looking at what previous people already did or what other researchers already have done, and they shared it with everyone. So that can be internal or external. The internal one is what people mostly miss and they don't reflect a lot on. Look within your team, what have you already done and what kind of data can be useful from that? That can be something from a website, that can be something from your sales in the future, that can be something from like how customer service is going for your team and how you can develop it. Things like that are really important to make sure that you're developing your business. A secondary research, and the most common would be the external one. You just go to data and you write your question down, or you see a similar organization and you start searching for the reports, and you start searching about like the founders and seeing videos of them sharing their ideas and how they started it. Or you start looking for governmental publications because you need some numbers about the economy in a certain community, or you need to learn about like the average income for a specific population. All of that is already there online. It's already out. You just need to do some extra steps to find it yourself. So explaining different types, we can talk about the advantages and disadvantages of each of them. We already mentioned that primary research is about collecting new data. So you're getting specific ones. You're going to the person that you care the most about. If you're serving your neighborhood, it won't be useful if you're reviewing some online data about another organization in a whole other country. It will be super useful if you are asking the people in your neighborhood. Provides insights into customer behavior and preferences. So this one, you will only sense if you're meeting the people yourself. You'll learn more about their behavior, their performances, and their preferences, because when you read a report, it's completely different when you meet someone and you hear more about their story, you hear more about their day-to-day life. Then the third one allows business to create unique and tailored market strategies. It's again targeted to a specific audience that you decided. When we look at the secondary, some advantages, there is some background information that helps you to understand the research topics. So if you have a question and you're researching using this question, it most likely you will get into something that will change your question a little bit, or that will give you another perspective of the problem. So something that researchers do is they share with you the development of their thoughts and the development of their questions. So when you're reading an already existed research, you will find that it opens your eye to different perspective of the problem. Cost effective, Google, as everyone mentioned, you just go there, type your question, type the kind of data that you're trying to find, and you will get it. Can help to identify gaps in current research and generate new research questions. I think we already covered that. It helps you to open your mind and to learn about what else can I ask to solve this problem. Perfect. To talk a little bit about the disadvantages, the primary research, time consuming, expensive, you have to meet the people yourself, you have to get focus groups. All of that consumes a lot of time. The sample size may not be representative, which is a big problem when people do research, because if you're dealing with a big community, you need to make sure that all kind of socioeconomic background are being represented in your research. And to get that, you need a bigger sample size and you need a more like detailed strategy on how you're doing that. So that can be a challenge for the primary research. It might be inaccurate at the end of the day, so you need to increase your sample size as well. If we go to the secondary research, may not provide specific data related to the research objectives because you have your own question. It will be really hard to find someone who's asking the exact same question. And if there's someone who's answering the exact same question, what are you providing? What is new that you're trying to do? You know, so it comes to like creativity and providing new values to the market, but at the same time, you're trying to collect data from questions that are different from yours. Then what else? The validity of the answers, it's not guaranteed because you didn't do it yourself. You don't know the person who published these numbers. If it's government, we might take it. If it's another organization, we might take it, but you need to ask your question, are these numbers realistic? Do they reflect who I'm with? The data may be outdated. It might be old, might be from 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It depends on the different resources that you're using. So these are things that you need to keep in your mind while you are deciding on your data resources. So here I just want to take one person just to be aware of timing that we have. So one person, what resource you think is the best for you and why? And both of them are useful, both of them have advantages and disadvantages. So for your own research idea, or your research question, which one works the best? One person. Amani, please go.
My final project is cakes, and I think that primary research should work best for me because people's taste in what they like may be different in the place I'm in than it may be from the place where someone who did the secondary research is located at. And so me doing the research on what the community I'm in likes myself is better than me going online and trying to figure out what other people liked based on someone else's experience.
Perfect. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Let's see. Okay. When you're asking questions, please make sure that you are choosing the right type of questions and you are asking unbiased questions and you're giving them space to share their experience, not the experience that you think you want to hear. This is a tricky point when people ask questions. You need to learn how to give them the space. Never direct them to the answer that you're waiting for, because there is an exact solution in your mind. There is an exact answer in your mind, and you're waiting for them to say, yes, that's what we want. Please do it. In your research phase, be open to hear the entire experience. Then evaluate it according to the ideas that you're working on. So here I want to talk a little bit about the open-ended questions and the closed-ended questions. And both of them can be useful in a specific context. So when we talk about the open-ended questions, this ones provide you with more details, with more insightful answers, and it gives them space to share. So what are your thoughts on our product? General question, and they will give you general answer that can be useful for you later. Can you tell me about a time when you used our service? Or how do you feel about our customer service? So you're just asking them, share with me. The mic is yours. When we go to close-ended questions, it's a little bit limiting their ideas, limiting their answers. You're giving them options to choose, like on scale 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with our product? Or have you ever used our service? Or which of the following best describe your profession? So right here, most of the time, the answer that I want to say might not be included in the options that you're providing, you know? Or I want to add something else. I want to comment. Maybe, have you ever used your service? I want to tell you, I use it more often in the winter than the summer. It's not reflected. Like the question is not giving me space to share this information with you. So be aware of the kind of questions that you're asking and how it will be helpful for your business to develop. For the closed-ended questions, it's good for quick feedback forms, you know? Like, you know, after like having a call with customer service, was this call helpful? Did our employee help you best? It's yes or no, you know? Because if it's a no, you will call again, or they will follow up with you to make it a yes, something like that. But if you're doing a research, you want to hear more about what kind or when do you call customer service? That's more of an open-ended question. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. I see that we don't have a lot of time. So the second point about choosing your question is to write it clear, to write it concise, so people are not confused about what you're asking. I have two examples here of good and bad questions. So the first one would be, how satisfied are you with our customer service? Something that would need a revision as a version of that would be, can you elaborate on the reasons why you are not satisfied with our customer service? It's too long. It's complicated. Like, just make it easy for people to get your message. Which of the following features of our product is most important for you? On the other hand, we'll have, how would you rate our product on a scale of 1 to 10, which 10 being the most preferred? Now, the problem with this example, I'm asking you to rate our product, then I'm asking you to prefer or not. Like, you're getting two questions and one answer. So just make sure that your question is direct and the information that you will get out of it would be actually useful. For the good examples, the last one, what improvements would you suggest for our product? On the other hand would be, do you think our product is great, good, okay, not good? I feel like if I'm doing a research and someone is saying, oh, your product is good, and I'm not getting why it is good, or your product is not good, and I'm not giving them the space to share with me why it's not good, why it's not useful. So it's again about creating the space to hear from them. Perfect. So I just want to make sure that we do have time for this final. Okay, so this activity, we're skipping it, but I just wanted each one of you to draft one research question and analyze it and tell us what kind of research questions you're asking. Is it open-ended? Is it closed-ended? And why you're choosing it? And we would review the clarity of the question, but you can do that throughout the week and reach out to me and to your peers in the festival, and would love to give you feedback on your research questions. Okay, running to the last part of the presentation today is how to present your data. So use graphs and charts. This is charts, not chats. Use graphs and charts. Make it easy for people to visualize your data, to see what are like the most needs in a pie chart. Like, it would be super easy to identify. It just makes it easy for people to visualize the numbers and the words that you're using. Second one, conclusion and recommendations. Always analyze the point by point. Be like, I asked this question. These are the answers that I get. Here are the conclusions based on these answers. And move it step by step. Don't make it generally, because you're gonna miss few steps or you're gonna miss few answers, and it will not be covering everything that you have. Share with people the sampling size. This is something that I really don't like when people do presentation about the data that they collected. They just go straight to the conclusions. They just go straight to the recommendations. But I want to hear how many people you asked, because it will be completely different if you're telling me, oh, I interviewed 5 people, and instead of telling me I interviewed 25 people. I will have a different understanding of these data that you're presenting to me. Then the sources, share with us which sources that you used. If you used the previous research that was published, if you used any article that was published before, share it with us. Always cite whatever you take from a secondary resource. Always share with us where you got these information from. That adds a lot of credibility to your research process. So you're not just making up numbers there. We can go back, we can review it, we can link it to whatever you're doing. Number 5, which is really important and people don't spend time working on, is limitation. And number 6 would be improvements. Limitations and improvements. Everyone in any research project would have limitations. It can be time limitation. It can be funding limitation. It can be I couldn't meet with many people, or all the people that I met are the same age, or all people that I met, they are all the same social economic background. That's a limitation. You need to acknowledge it, because if you're not, you'll be kind of like faking the data. because it's an important thing to mention when you are presenting it. So tell us what challenges you faced during collecting these data and improvements on how you can do it better later on, and how you can build on your first experience collecting these data. So these are things that have to be mentioned in your presentation, and they will make it stronger. Even if they are negative, it adds credibility to your research process. It shows people that you understand how to do a market research, that you understand your needs. Perfect. So we got to the Q&A. I would say that we are right on time because we started late. So I will take it as we're right on time. Yeah. Cool. So any questions, anything that you need me to go over again, I'm open to stay in the Zoom room. But if you're all good, I know that you had super long day. I've been talking for so long, so I'm gonna mute myself and receive any questions that you have. Okay, Arlek, you have a question?
All right, I guess you can get me.
Yes.
Okay. All right, you talk about using two type of market research before, and you were like, you can use all of them at a time. So, and what if you find them healthier with your business, like you find them good to use them all, and you use them all and they work out with your own business? How do you see that?
I think each stage in the business need a different kind of research. For example, if it's your first time to build a BMC, you need to do a lot of work in the first type, which is like exploring your business, exploring your idea, exploring your people. And then you move to the descriptive because you need to learn the who, the what, the when. Let's say that you already have your BMC and you already have your service outlined, you already have your idea. It's really important to do the last type of research, which is the casual one, because you need to learn if your product is working, if your service is working. So you will end doing all of them. It's just you would decide when to use each of them. And I know that, like, in this room, we're all in different stages of our like business development. So I'm not telling you have to start with the first type. I'm not telling you go do the casual one now. I'm telling you hear what different types are and feel free to use all of them. Feel free to use the one that works the best for you. I hope I answered your question. Just a reminder, please fill the feedback form before leaving the Zoom room. And I think if you don't have any question, feel free to leave the room and go rest. I know it has been a long day for everyone, but I'm willing to stay and give feedback or answer any questions if you have. But if you fill the form, you're good to go. Panasha, you have a question, please?
Okay. Panasha, you can go.
Sorry. So my question is what making use of the big data. Let's say, for example, you do your research and data shows that what you're doing is not working. Like, would you have to entirely your the results that you've gotten entirely totally dropped your model? So do you have to react to data? Like, how do you make use of data without limiting the scope of what you will be trying to do?
Okay, if I get your question correct, you're asking, you did your casual research and you were testing your service, but you noticed that it's not serving the people in the way that you're expecting it, right? Now you're asking how to use the data that you're collected or how to collect more data to develop it, right? Is that your question?
Both.
Okay, both. Cool. Yeah, sure. So now you're doing your casual research, you're providing your service, and let's expect that let's assume it's like, I don't know, it's like educational program that you're giving. And after the session, you ask people for feedback, as we just asked you for feedback. And it turned out that it's not working. For some people, many people like told you, oh, this session, I didn't learn anything new, or I didn't get what was going on there. So the next step would be having a focus group, for example, or going more in depth with the experience of your customers and try to understand from them how they interacted with your service and what didn't work for them. So if it's like an educational program, so which parts didn't you get? Which parts did you get? Was it the facilitator? Was it the time? Was it in the early morning? Was it like I don't know, like different types that might make it not working, and start learning about these things. And I'm sure that it will never be generally the overall of the idea. It will always be a part that is not clicking. So your work would be like, which part can I improve, or which part would make it better? And something else that you need to think of, you don't have to be crazy creative in the beginning. You don't have to be providing a totally new experience that people are not usual to, because that will overwhelm you. You can basically start by providing a new model to your community, something that is already working outside of your community, and you are giving them like in a certain demographics that they're not having it, you know? That will help you to develop it later on. That will give you a lot of time to add the creative aspect of your business and to build your value proposition. So I would say when you do a casual research and it's not working, try to have more in-depth data collection about why it's not working and divide the experience into different stages. Some people prefer to divide experience before, during, and after. And within each one of them, you start asking what is working and what is not working. And that will be a better way to identify why the overall experience wasn't good. I hope I answered your question. Please let me know if I didn't.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much.
Okay, sure. You're welcome. Okay. Hi, TK. Yeah, please go.
Okay. I wanted to know, thank you so much for the session, by the way. Yeah, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. So like my question is, how do we get in touch with I don't know, like if I butcher the spelling, I don't like the pronunciation, your company, your business, and yourself, Logicae Science.
Sure, I am putting my email address
Sure. Thanks.
in the chat. Perfect. And as I mentioned, if you already filled the form and you don't have any question, feel free to leave the meeting. Richard, please go.
Yeah, was about like for your community, it's a question. Also, I think this question somehow like you have a community where in your community you are introducing a new product, but that product has never been introduced, right? And you want to have that kind of data, the exact information before you releasing the products to the people. And the reason why you want to collect data is like you don't want to run at a loss. But since the people have not yet come across it, like I was thinking, how are you going to present them the questionnaire that they will be using for them to give you feedback, and keeping in mind that they have never used such kind of product, and you also don't want to run at a loss. Yeah, thank you.
Sure. So for your business or for your idea, it's more special because as you mentioned, it's new experience. They didn't have it before, and it's the first time to interact with something like that. Your team has more work to do to explain how the service work or how the service can make their experience better. You need to give them samples of what and how people have been using this service for. And you need to work more on marketing your idea, which is a bit tricky if you're doing your research. So let's imagine that you're doing a focus group. The focus group must start with introduction to this service. Maybe yourself will be telling them, hi, this is my product, and that's how you use it. And by using it, you will save X, Y, and Z. By using it, you will make a better X, Y, and Z. So your team has extra steps that you need to take on introducing this product. And it will be always useful if you test it with someone on the long term. For example, you go to an exact household, a family, you provide your service for them, and it would be your way to share it on a long term, maybe like a few weeks. So first of all, you will test it. Second of all, whenever you're having more research, they can help you to share their own experience because they are from the same community, but they had longer time to interact with this service. You get it? So choose a sample and give them the time to get familiar with your service and to actually learn what you are providing. So that would be more of like your research style. It'd be like, you have the time, test it, and tell me what you think.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. Okay, do we have any questions? Okay, I put my email in the chat. You can email me whatever questions you have in mind. I think I can put my WhatsApp as well. Send me any message. And if I don't get back to you, please follow up with me.
Thank you, Magid. This was a great session. Thank you for your time.